Hey moms, it's Laura Ollinger. Welcome to the Positively Healthy Mom podcast. So today I could not be more excited to welcome Amber Letz to our show today. Amber is just one of the most amazing people I have ever met in my whole life. And I met her several years ago because she was actually my instructor at the Institute for Functional Medicine in the Functional Medicine Health Coaching School. And so she has got so many amazing credentials. It's not even funny, including being a nationally board certified health and wellness coach. And I know you've studied under Terry Walls and lots of other people, and you have so many things. So Amber, why don't you just say hello and tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, no, thank you for that great introduction, Laura. And I work for the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. That's one of my roles. And of course, I am a national board certified health and wellness coach. I am a functional medicine certified health coach and a Walls certified practitioner. But I have to be honest, my greatest accomplishment in my whole life is that I raised 3 amazing humans into adulthood. So, and that is probably my greatest joy, is just being able to call them my kiddos and share time with them and help them through life. So, because like you said, there's no manual for this, not even at this stage. They're all adults and, they're happy, healthy, and well. And that's the main objective for parents, right?
Exactly. And
for sure.
You didn't mention that you also are a grandmother now. So tell us
Yes, I am.
Tell us about your grandkids.
Yeah, so definitely. No, I have 2 amazing, I call them tiny humans. So my 2 amazing tiny humans, they call me Gemma. So, and I love nothing more than spending time with them. And one of the greatest gifts I think I learned at the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy was how to be present. And that's all I have to do with those little tiny humans, is just simply be present in their life. And so that's all I do, is just share time with them. And it's just so beautiful to learn from everything that they're learning from, the tiniest pebble on the ground that they think is just the greatest gift in the world. And just watching it through that encouragement in their eyes and the way they ask questions about the simplest things, and they just, okay, and move forward and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely one of the great honors I feel at this point in life, is this is maybe one of the rewards for everything that we did raising our kids, and stuff. And yeah, and just learning that beauty. So many people don't know what it's like to just be. And that is such a gift. And it's a talent that you have to learn. I mean, I truly believe that it's a talent that you have to learn, is just, being present with them in that moment, whatever they want to do. So, and that's what I get the gift of doing. And so I just take it all in, and it is one of the greatest joys of my life. And then of course, being able to see my adult children in their new roles too, and stuff, as being parents, uncles, etc., and stuff, watching all of that happen as we're all together. Like, that's just an amazing, watching that process of life take place and be present for every moment of it is just incredible.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I completely agree. And it's amazing how difficult that can be for adults, because kids are born, they have the natural gift. They're present. They have nowhere else in their minds to be. Right. But as adults and as we become busy moms, our minds are going in a million different directions. So what would be your advice to moms as far as, being present with their teenagers, with their college kids, with their adult kids, with their grandkids or toddlers? Like, I mean, all the ages, and even in a romantic relationship, like, presence is so crucial. How do you teach someone how to be more present?
So for myself personally, what I had to learn was, what was it like to be the one that was ignored by electronic devices? Do you know what I'm saying? So if I was in a group and everybody was on their phone, it was kind of taking that back seat of, what would it like to be present? What would it be like to be present in this moment right now? And so for myself, learning to shut my devices off, and stuff before I, enter to spend time with my grandkids. I try to make sure that all of the noises on my phone are completely turned off. And, there's the only people who need me that would be considered an emergency would be my adult children, and I'm already with them. So, I
Right.
just shut it. Yeah, I just shut it off, and such. And I do my best to not be distracted by it. And boy, is it a discipline. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
We have the world at our fingertips now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but for me, it's like, no, the world really is here at my fingertips, but it's in these little tiny humans that I want to be with,
Yeah.
and stuff. So, yeah. So it's like, do I really want a distraction from something that is certainly not relevant in this moment and can definitely wait? And so I think prioritizing our lives, when you start to prioritize your life and you start to see what is so, so important. And, there's a saying, you don't want to miss this. And that's exactly how I feel when I'm with them. Things change so fast. Even with my adult children, they're all very witty and can carry on wonderful conversations. And so there's times that it's like, yeah, I don't want to miss this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So making your priorities stand out.
And you know what I just thought of, because I'm thinking kind of as I go out through my day, and what I find is important is needing to have that agility of having to go from one thing to another very rapidly.
Yes.
So for instance, when I pick up my youngest daughter from school, I want it to be all about her. I'm completely with her and present in the moment. But then not long after that, I have to get the show on the road with either my older kids, getting them organized for their sports, or moving on to my clients for the evening. So I have to be able to move back and forth throughout the day and really be present in every part of it. And that's not always easy, because I still in the back of my mind am thinking, oh, but I still have dinner to make, or I still have this, right? So it's like, it sounds so wonderful. But what I think the most kind of the biggest key maybe for people is just that it's a practice, just like meditation.
It is.
Practice.
Absolutely.
It's a practice. It takes repetition and it takes practice to get really good at it. And so I don't want anybody to feel discouraged if they are
not at all.
that mindfulness moment with anyone in their lives, and then they feel their brain still going. It's just like, okay, all we do is take a deep breath, kind of refocus, find one thing to focus on, whether it's, through your senses, a touch, a sight, a sound, whatever the feel is, and kind of just really observe, like you're saying, like how, your grandchild will pick up a pebble and like, just look at it, think about it. It's smooth, it's round, maybe it's wet,
it's cool.
gray, all those things. We as adults just overlook so much of that. So I'm so glad. I feel like that's such a great point. We have a viewer who's watching who says presence is key. And so that's obviously resonating with our viewers. So I kind of want to move on to, because you have so much amazing background and training. You've spent your career helping moms lose weight. That has been something you focused on. So tell us your story with that. How did you get started? And, what are you doing? So kind of before and now, what are you doing with it now?
Yeah, so absolutely. So first of all, I feel like becoming a functional medicine certified health coach was my accidental career, and stuff, because I was a stay-at-home mom. I stayed home with my kids. I home educated my children, and that was the greatest gift of anything, to have that time and that honor to be there. So, and it wasn't until about the time the last one was getting close to graduating, I knew ever since they were tiny, I knew there was more to what they needed to eat to develop their brains so that they could become whatever it is that they wanted to be in life. I wanted their brains to be strong so that they could learn whatever it is that they chose to learn. And so with that, I was always taking care of them, feeding the right foods, trying to find, the right things for them to eat that would help them to excel and grow up and be strong and just have that super sharp mind. And I didn't pay very much attention to me, because that's the role I was in at the time. I was mom. And so, mom feeds, mom takes care of, mom does this, mom does that for everybody else. And then it came the time where the focus came back, and it was like, all right, now what are you going to do? And so I had gotten that that scary test result that none of us want. That scary test result that said you are morbidly obese and you are on your way to type 2 diabetes.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And I knew enough because I read and studied everything that I could get my hands on about nutrition, being healthy. I mean, everything just this side of going to medical school, right? To become a doctor, anything I could get my hands on, I was constantly reading and educating myself. And so, when my local functional medicine provider, gave me those results, I was like, all right, I'm not doing this, because I knew what that disease looked like. I knew how horrible it could be. And so many people just think that, taking medication is the answer. And I knew it wasn't. And
Mhm.
so I got busy and I started to work on losing the weight, which took me quite some time to actually get to the point of getting it off. And I believe it was somewhere around my 40th birthday that I finally achieved the milestone of getting to my weight loss goal, which everybody thinks, that's fabulous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's only one piece of the puzzle. We don't understand that once we hit maintenance,
Mhm.
that's a whole new ballgame. What's the goal now?
Right. Good.
Yeah, what's the goal now, and stuff. And so there was lots of up downing and things like that. But
Mhm.
one thing that I did was, I've always been an observer of humans. I love humans, by the way. I just think they're phenomenal. And so one thing that I noticed was, some people could follow one thing and it would work, and some people could follow it and it wouldn't, in regards to weight loss.
Mm.
And that started me thinking, why is that?
Yeah.
That's what started my goal into alternative functional medicine, and really starting to look at the human body, how it was designed, how it was created. And just like you and I, Laura, we're both women, but we're not identical.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, we're both women, and we have lots of things in common, but where I live makes a difference in how I need to eat, and
Mm.
stuff. How I handle the stress in my life makes a difference in how I need to eat.
Mhm.
My genetic structure makes a difference. And so that started my journey into functional medicine.
Mhm.
And I just feel like it was a gift to find the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy, and truly learning all the ins and outs of how the human body can work through different types of eating, different structures and things like that. And the best gift for me was just learning how my personal body worked.
Mm.
And so as of today, I have lost and kept off 80 pounds for 16 years.
Wow.
Yes,
That's amazing. You don't hear that a lot. You hear a lot of these big weight loss stories, but it never sticks. It never
right,
stays. So
right.
what would be your secret to that?
So I would say that the secret to that, I mean, it didn't come off when I turned 40. It didn't just stay off. I mean, I up, down, I went back and forth, a few different things changed, cycled through my life. And of course, through all this, I was always learning, always processing foods, and stuff. Like when I would eat something, keeping these super intensive journals and things like that. And I
Mm.
think the biggest mistake that has been made in regards to weight loss is the fact that we've been told so many lies, like 3 meals a day. Who says?
Yeah.
Who says you need 3 meals a day?
Uh-huh.
Like, who decided that?
Yeah.
And stuff. And so it makes me very strange. When I meet new people, they all think I have 3 heads, and I'm okay with that now,
Mhm.
and stuff. It's like, I like having 3 heads, because I think a lot deeper and a lot more clearer about things, and stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but the main objective in all of that was, how did I want to feel? And I mean, I've done, I've probably done every diet on the planet, including the crazy cabbage soup diet, which most people know what that is. So, you
You
know,
told us about that in class a couple of years ago.
oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
it's such a funny story.
Oh yeah. I mean, cabbage soup 3 times a day for a month. Like, oh yeah, yeehaw, let's go after that one. So anyways, but I mean, I do love cabbage, but I like it with all of the other 200 vegetables that are out there too,
Mhm.
and stuff. And I'm not a vegan, although I love vegetables. I
Mhm.
also love meat, and
Okay.
stuff. And I found out that my body thrives on beef. I know a lot
Mm.
of people don't like to hear things like that, but I do,
Mhm.
and stuff. And I have learned that I am one of those 2 meal a day people.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm a mid morning and a mid afternoon. That's when I like to eat. And that's when my body likes to eat. My sleep improves, everything improves when I
Mhm.
stick with that, and stuff. And so, it's more about listening to your body than just saying, oh, this is how many calories I get. How can I get this in? No, take the time to really listen. Like, if I have a day where I'm, maybe thinking, okay, I ate my breakfast, but I'm feeling like maybe I need something else. I'll just take a moment, like you said, getting that mindful presence.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'll just, close my eyes and I'll think, all right, body, what do we need?
Oh.
And pretty soon, just being quiet and still, it'll rise to the surface. It'll be like, you didn't have any beef today.
Mm.
Oh, that's what I'm missing. So,
Mhm.
or it'll be like, come on, just drink your water, get your water down first,
Mhm.
and stuff. So, yeah, and everything. But I mean, I've had days where it's like, you need to go get some beets. You need some beets because of the phytonutrients. Most people don't understand. every piece of food that we eat has phytonutrients in it. And there's this huge, beautiful array of nutrients in every color on the planet. And so it gets to be a lot of fun when we take away the word diet, calories, measuring, and you just paint your plate in color. That's all you do. You just paint it in color,
Yeah.
and stuff. Then it becomes exciting and it becomes fun. And then you can pass that on to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's better than saying, how colorful can you make it?
Right.
How many different colors can you put on it? And how can you make it some zesty, fun stuff that we get to eat?
I love that. And that's such a great way to get kids kind of enticed into
Yes.
as well, is to,
I agree.
I've done different trays that it's literally like made a rainbow. They always say eat the
Yes.
rainbow, and I'll line them all up, or I'll have the kids do it.
Yes.
And it's fun. And it's fun to eat those different colors and try the different crunchy textures and things
For
like
sure.
that. I have
Yeah.
had in the past, a lot of people, I don't coach young kids, but I've had people say, oh, my kids don't eat that, or they don't like that.
Right.
That. And it's like, well, there's other ways to approach that situation.
Oh,
right?
100%.
We can make it fun. We can make it colorful. We can make it art, like you just said.
Yes.
Plate. Like, how cool does that sound? What kid does
Oh my gosh.
their plate? Yes. Yes.
Well, and I think sometimes too, we overlook some really small things because we just don't think about doing these. And so I'd like to share this with some of your viewers. Some of the fun that you can have is, why not let your kids go on a scavenger hunt in the produce department?
Oh, tell us about that. Explain it. How does that work?
Yeah, so definitely. So, I mean, being a functional medicine certified health coach, I have access to some really great tools to help moms out, and stuff, such as lists of the foods in the produce aisle by color, right? So you could say, all right, we're going on a scavenger hunt for the greens today. You go and circle on here how many greens you find. If you need my help, I'll help you. And then I love that you can also bring that creativity back into the kitchen, because let's face it, we're raising adults. We're not raising children. We're raising adults. That's the goal, is to get them to be happy, healthy, creative, loving their life, adults and stuff. And so when you give them the freedom and you say to them, I'm going to let you prepare a meal and we're going to go to the store and I'm going to let you pick. Oh, how much fun is that?
Right.
And stuff. Yeah. So then they can go through the store and you could do the scavenger hunt. You could do the recipe hunt. Like, there's so many things that you can do to help them to fall in love with cooking good food that's good for your body.
And
make it fun.
If you have boys, I was going to say boys love competition. So,
Oh, absolutely.
Cook off one night, or actually I've had two of my kids make different guacamole recipes. They just made their own guacamole and we did a blind taste test.
Yes. Fun.
So much fun. And the girls too.
That
the girls competition too. The girls want to win too.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And that's what you got to do. It's like, if we're going, broccoli, guess what they're going to do? But if we're like, woo, we're going to make broccoli tonight and we're going to put a little bit of this in that, we're going to chop up a little bit of that, and we're going to have some fun, and you're going to learn how to toss it. I mean, how much fun is that?
It sounds really fun. And you know what that reminds me of? When I was little, how we used to always play outside a lot?
Yes.
I used to make like these like mud stews in a bucket out in my backyard, and I would use the hose and get water and try to get the right consistency. I do all different things with it. And kids love to get in there and get involved and be active. And so that just, makes that kitchen almost like that outside playground where
it does.
It's fun, it's exciting, it's interactive, you get to make some choices, ask them those questions. Like,
absolutely.
We should, put into this, whatever, and see what they say. And it's
absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Now, when my kids were little, and everybody does, okay, we're going into holiday times here pretty soon. I mean, it comes every year anyways, right? Holidays come every single year. So when it would be baking time, it was nothing for me to just buy an extra bag of flour for them to play in, and they can make as big a mess as they wanted to on the kitchen table, and they would drive their Matchbox cars and their dump trucks and, and everything through it like that. So it was still a family event. Maybe if they were too little to help with some of the bigger stuff, at least they could be in there and be involved. And like you said, texture, little ones love texture, and stuff. And I don't know if anybody's taken and just played with flour on their hands recently, but it feels kind of cool, so to do that and stuff, and especially cornstarch, that nice softness. Oh yeah, for sure. And everything.
That little crunchy almost like,
Yes, because it does that. But just think of the fun that you can have by just letting them be,
Mm,
and stuff. And okay, so what? We got to get the vacuum out and vacuum up a little bit. You're going to do that anyways. Let's be honest. We're all going to do it anyways.
right.
So why not do it around fun?
Yeah.
And stuff. And then I don't know, but my kids loved to use the vacuum once they learned how, and stuff when they were little and stuff. And that was like their big kid job. So, we could teach responsibility, being together, enjoying textures, and just learning about the love of food.
I think that's fantastic. And one thing that I know I really look forward to, and I know my kids who are now teenagers do
Yeah.
as well, is actually the family meal time. We
Yes.
I have to give myself a pat on the back that I really
Sure.
enforce that value that I learned from my
Mhm.
family growing up. My mom always made sure we sat down at the table together. And even though we have busy
Mhm.
schedules, so it's not every night of the week, but most
Right.
days of the week, we are sitting down and,
Right.
we say grace before our meal, but, there's any type of, ritual that any family could do, whether it's just a mindfulness moment or whatever that might be, thinking
Mhm.
whatever they want to think and just
Right.
be together. And so what is your kind of thoughts about that as far as being
Oh,
that?
no, I think it's awesome. I
Mhm.
think that we need to do that because even my adult, humans that I love to death, we love getting together and we've already planned, the 3 holiday meals that we will share together, and everybody had a say in what was going to be presented at that meal.
Mm,
And so even throughout the year, we still try to pick one day out of the month that we can still all come together and just that touch. Just
mhm,
that touch of base, that sharing of food, that giving everybody a hard time, telling jokes and stories, and just that human touch. It's
mhm.
so, so, so important, even in friendships. It's one thing to do it within your family and stuff like that, but we also have to remember that, even before we became mamas, we were someone, and stuff. So how do we continue to build even friendships outside of that and stuff, and
Mhm.
allowing our children to also see that they can have their friends and it can all become just so much fun and recreation to be together.
Yeah, yeah, I really felt
Hmm.
that when you explaed it. I know exactly the
Yeah.
feeling, because we, during the pandemic, we had that feeling of disconnection and
Yes.
isolation. And we're
Yes.
as humans, we're designed to be together as humans and
Absolutely.
have that connection. And so when we
Yes.
start to get it again, we were like, oh wow, this feels really good. But it's just we're
Hmm.
very, primal in nature and needing that. And it's very
Yes.
yeah, so important. So before we move on, I wanted to get a little bit more on the health part. So,
Sure.
think of the busy moms, and I always try to
Yes.
do, as coaches, we always ask, what's the smallest step you could take, or what's the first,
Absolutely.
right? That's as we,
Absolutely.
that's how we do it. And so,
Right.
for viewers watching today who are
Sure.
could be anywhere, they could be mega healthy, or they could be, this could be their first
Absolutely.
step, and
Sure.
they might be have experiencing type 2 diabetes, and they're starting
Right.
to think, oh gosh, I should do something. What's the one thing? I feel like the Eat the Rainbow was a fantastic tip, but is there
Sure.
any other one thing just to get people started?
Oh yeah, I would agree. Yeah, 100%, because it's always about dialing back and peeling off the layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. So it's like, okay, if I did this one thing, how would everything else, domino into effect with that?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. So, lots of times when I am working with clients and they're like, well, if I eat my vegetables, I'm like, okay, so if you eat your vegetables, does that mean you're going to be able to do all of the other things that you want to do? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time when we get to the third or fourth thing, it's a no. And what it almost always dials back to is sleep. So,
Oh,
because if you can sleep, you can make a better decision. If you can sleep, you have better control over what goes in your mouth. If you
mm-hmm.
can sleep, you're probably not going to snap at your child. If you can sleep, you're probably not going to yell at the person on the phone who sent you the wrong bill. Whatever it is, but it's like, when we dial it back, what's the number one to help us stand? And I just learned this over the years too, especially in the last few years. Sleep is number one for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I am so dedicated to my sleep
Mm-hmm.
that usually 8:30 at night, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not taking phone calls. I'm working my sleep routine and getting into bed and stuff like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
am super, super guarded about it. And I've even told people that, I mean, I've wanted to go out to dinner with or something like that. Friends will call up, hey, you want to go out to dinner with us? I'm like, yeah, I got to be home by 8. And they're like, yeah, we're not leaving till 8. And I'm like, I really want to go, but maybe we could do breakfast sometime. That's
Right.
really because of how I have learned my health and my health rituals and what truly works for me. is that I'm a much better breakfast date than I am a dinner date, just so you know. But yeah, sleep, number one. I truly believe sleep is the number one thing that can get us through anything,
Mm.
and then on top of that, we need to add water. So,
Okay,
that would be number two.
water. Yeah, I had a feeling you might say water too. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's I totally agree with. And
Yes.
when I was at the Functional Medicine Health Coaching Academy, learning about all the hormones and how that affects
Yes.
your
Oh
weight.
my gosh.
For
Yes.
moms who are looking to get healthy and or lose weight, it doesn't always have to be synonymous
Right.
with each other. Some of us could be low on weight but still need to get
Right.
more healthy. And so
Absolutely.
sleep totally affects, like with the stress hormones, there's that cascade that goes down.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So I really like that. That's the bottom line. Like if someone wants to start
Mhm.
somewhere today, they might not have thought of that. They might think,
Right.
oh gosh, I'm really, I eat pretty good. I exercise a little bit.
Right.
I do that, but I'm so busy. I sleep, 5 hours, and everybody we know needs different
Oh, I
amounts
know.
of sleep, but maybe they
Absolutely.
just aren't getting enough and they're feeling
Right.
exhausted, and then they're chugging their
Right.
coffee in the morning, and then they're trying to wind down. So then they drink their wine and their alcohol, which causes sleep
Right.
disturbances. So the
Right.
caffeine and the alcohol are both
Yes.
in their sleep, and then they wonder why
Right.
they're not feeling good, or they're edgy, or they're
Absolutely.
short-tempered with their kids, whatever it might be. So
Right.
okay, fantastic. That's
Well, and just you said it too, Lauren. We hear 8 hours, right?
Mhm.
It's not true for everyone. So
Mhm.
you really have to become this CEO of you. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
You have to really get to know who you are and what you need and
Mhm.
stuff. I mean, it's not easy for me to, like I have friends who are going out and doing stuff, especially during the summer. When I'm winding down, the sun isn't even down yet, you
Mm.
know. But if I don't stick with it, I suffer in many ways the next day,
Mm.
and stuff. And so in learning, like I learned, I'm a 7.5 hour girl.
Okay.
So, and stuff. If I do 8, I tend to be a little rummier during the day, like I got too much sleep. But
Oh.
if I'm at that 7.5 hour, that's when I wake up, spring in my step, out of bed, ready to rock and roll, and stuff. And I will actually do better if, because I'm a huge fan of the Aura ring, OURA.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So telling me what I need and stuff like that. So, and even Aura says in my data, it says, it's okay that you stayed up a little bit later because you slept in a little bit longer. There's your weekends.
Mm.
So, but that doesn't mean, if I'm in bed at 8 o'clock, Monday through Thursday, it doesn't mean Friday night I can stay out till midnight. Maybe I can stay up till 9, maybe 9:30,
Yeah.
and stuff, because Saturday morning I can sleep in,
Yeah.
and stuff. But the more in sync I am with my sleep pattern, the better I
Mhm.
am all the way around. I can eat better, make better decisions, take care of my time, hit my checkoff list, and I'm not trying to rip anybody's head off.
Mhm.
So, most important part.
Totally. And I think this is making such a good point. I do want to stick on it for just another minute or so.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I realized lately I was struggling with that because I was trying to find something at night that would calm me down and relax me and give me that escape from
Sure.
my busy, stressful day. And so
Right.
I found myself getting into bad habits, watching TV at night, and there was
Right.
a show. I won't say what it was, but I became very
Okay.
addicted. No, I'll just tell you, it's just silly. It's just silly what it is, though. I'll tell you. It's Grey's Anatomy. I
Okay.
am obsessed with Grey's Anatomy, even though I know it's
Me
not
too. Me too. Me too.
good. It's not realistic. It's not really based on
Right.
the way the hospital runs. That's not reality. We
Sure.
know that.
No.
But it's
Right.
fun and I enjoy it. But I found myself staying up late to
Sure.
keep watching it. And then I found myself being really tired the next day. And I found
Right.
myself needing a nap. And the thing is, I really actually had to coach myself
Sure.
because it's not easy to give up that fun pleasure. Like it feels like a pleasure,
Oh, for sure.
luxury to then be disciplined enough to go to sleep so that I
Right.
can, have that. And so it's like coaches are great at helping clients
Yes.
do that and to
Right.
hold them accountable. And so it's funny because I was finding that I needed to hold myself accountable. I
Sure.
needed
Sure.
to coach for other things, but we don't really talk about sleep. So yeah, and
Right.
so it's funny how I just realized that I'm guilty of doing the very thing that I encourage
Mhm.
other people to do, which is all about health and wellness and getting
Right.
diet, sleep, exercise, stress management, all those modifiable lifestyle factors. So anyway, I caught myself, I busted myself, and I'm back
There
on
you
track.
go. Yeah, no. And I mean, I agree with you. It's all about that routine of getting yourself to sleep. But the common denominator there, Laura, just because I'm also a health coach, is that you probably like Grey's Anatomy. It's mostly because of the connections all of those surgeons have with one another and their patients. That's probably
Mm,
why you like the show so much, because
that
you
is
just said, yeah, so much about it. Because I'm also a junkie. Like I've watched it through, I can't even tell you how many times, and stuff. And so, yeah, I absolutely love the show. But yeah, I know it's not real. But what I do love about it
Mhm.
is the connections between all of the players, and it has an awesome backstory. If
Yeah,
anything's got a good backstory, I'm hooked. So
right,
I
right.
love, yeah, I want to hear all the details. Tell me about your life. Like let's weave all this together and find
Mhm.
out what makes you you so that we can help you grab the oars of your boat, pull yourself forward and keep rowing into your life.
Yes, I love that self-efficacy visualization
Yes.
you have there. That's
Absolutely. Let's just pull ourselves forward and let's keep rocking and rolling and living this thing called life with as much zest and creativity as we can throw in there.
totally, totally. That's awesome.
I'm going to pause this conversation with Amber. If you'd like to hear more, listen to my next episode of The Positively Healthy Mom. Thank you for listening to the Positively Healthy Mom podcast, because there's no manual for the hardest job in the world. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends.